Hi, folks. Glad you're here. This is Annette of AnnetteLeonard.com, back with another moment for chronic wellness. And this week we are looking at a question that I think is so difficult for those of us with chronic illness to manage in an ongoing way. And that is how to deal with the oftentimes enforced solitude that comes along with chronic illness. And maybe you were an introvert, maybe you were an extrovert before you got sick, and regardless, isolation and solitude are part of the gig. And regardless of where you stood on this one, you now stand in a place of likely many more hours alone and having to navigate your own company and time yawning out ahead of you without the company of others for a whole host of reasons that we've talked about and will talk about again. And so how do you feel that in meaningful ways? And so today's thought is one that works for me, and that in truth is borrowed from the book turned movie called About a Boy. And in that storyline, the main protagonist, Will, who is independently wealthy, suggests that days are just too long to be approached as whole entities. And so the way that you can navigate them successfully is to break them down into units. And he suggests that the appropriate unit of time is 30 minutes. And then you can further think of any activity by how many units it consumes. So for me, start to finish, a shower is about one whole unit. And then after a shower, I typically have to rest for 2 to 4 units. And that maybe getting your hair cut takes 2 units. Maybe your favorite television show is 1 or 2 units. Maybe your favorite podcast is half a unit or 1 unit. And that when you start dividing your day into how many units you're up, it's a less daunting way to start thinking about how you spend the day. And for me, this works. And particularly at the times when I am my sickest, there are days when I am only out of bed for 8 units. And if I start to think, man, I'm only out of bed for 4 hours a day, or when I compound that and I think in a week I might only be out of bed for the amount of time that some people have in one 24-hour cycle, it's overwhelming, it's daunting and depressing. And so thinking of my time as units and how to maximize or play my cards in the terms of units. How many units am I going to play and in which ways I'm going to play them, for me, can be a better, more successful, more engaged way for me to figure out how to handle my time. So that is today's tip, to think about breaking my days into units. And tomorrow we'll talk about the sound you're hearing in the background, which is the clicking of toenails. And thank you for being here. I appreciate you sharing some of your time and energy with me. I'm eager to hear about how you get through some of the solitude. And in the meantime, be well.